Hey everyone, this is episode 101 of the Trainer Talk. Today we're going to be talking about the top characteristics and habits of our most successful clients. So what kind of we decided as basic habits and things that our clients do who are the most successful, the long term, the ones that have seen the best consistent results over time, and we just kind of want to talk about each one of them and then maybe how you can start adopting some of those habits, because a lot of it is becoming the person that you need to be or the person that it requires to be able to make that sort of successful transformation as our current clients have. I'm going to start off with consistently giving 70 to 80% consistency to the plan, getting your workouts in, hitting those nutrition, hitting those balanced meals, getting your sleep and water. So 70 to 80% of the time, you're hitting those markers, everything like that. One big thing is they're not perfectionist about it, so they know that it's okay if they have some meals that are off, or if they do miss a workout, it's not the end of the world. The biggest thing is they get right back on track afterwards. They focus on, as long as I hit it 70-80% consistency, I'm going to see good results. And over time, they end up seeing really good results just through the repetitions and the time that they invest into it. And the second part is they see it as a long-term process. They see it as a long-term journey, not just a short-term, like I'm going to do this for 6 weeks or 9 weeks and then I'll be fine, or that I'm going to lose all the weight or fix all the poor habits that I've developed over these years. They know that it's taken them a long time to get there and that it's a long, ever-changing process of their fitness journey, and then they just treat it as it should be, as a lifestyle change.
Yeah, so I would say one of the top characteristics of my most successful clients are the people who show up rain or shine. I mean, obviously there is a time and place to take some time off to rest if you're sick, if there's an emergency. But I think it's really easy for most people to not take coming into a session very seriously. They don't make it a top priority, and they say, oh, well, I have this and this that I need to be doing at home instead, or I need to be at this, so they don't come in. Where the most successful clients, they make it a priority. They make it just like any other important work appointment or doctor's appointment that you wouldn't miss. They say, nope, I can't go do this today because I have an appointment with my trainer at this time and I need to be there. So they make sure that they are showing up no matter what, because it's important, and they know that the only way to get there, to get to their end goal, is by showing up for every single appointment and session. Another thing is that they build relationships and friendships with other members of the gym. So even if maybe I do a lot more personal training, so even if I have a personal training client who isn't necessarily doing classes, they still will meet other people in the gym who maybe are doing classes or who are doing other training sessions, and just become friends. And they notice when somebody isn't showing up for a class or for a session, and they might say to them hey, where have you been? And that just helps hold them accountable, and it's just kind of a reason to get them back in the gym so that they can see their new friends and new faces and stuff like that. And then I think the biggest thing is that they understand that their results aren't going to happen overnight. We live in a very fast-paced world. We want quick fixes, but these people understand that that's not how it works, and they know that they have to put in the work for a year, 2 years, 3 years to really get to their final results.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your second one, building the relationships, and I think that kind of ties in with surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and kind of add on to what you were saying. I think that's exactly what happens in these fit camps when everybody shows up to the same class every week. They're building relationships with each other, and that energy and that motivation is contagious. When you're around these people, you're adopting the good habits that everybody else has, and it kind of just rubs off on you. And then I think another one, a common denominator of some of our most successful clients is that they're curious and they're willing to learn. So I think that's a big one. Open-minded, basically. So they're always willing to try new things. They're going out on their own, researching some of their own nutrition and workouts and being creative and finding new ways to build better habits and live healthier, really. So whether that's finding new exercises, if you're getting bored and you want to try something new, finding new exercises, or even just something little like trying out a new meal like that. And then another one I think is doing things with intention. And I think the big one for that is showing up to the gym with intention. It is a hard part to get here, first of all, to the gym. That's like one of the hardest parts. But once you get here, working out with intention, having a plan, and not just showing up here and just going through the motions. It's important to have a structure and follow it consistently day in and day out, and that's how you see the quickest results.
Yeah, I like what you said with the having that open-mindedness. Like I had a growth mindset on there of, they're not in the fixed mindset of like, oh, I'm either this or I'm that, or I'm either healthy or I'm unhealthy, or I'm fit or I'm unfit. They're very like, they know that they can build fitness. They know that they can become healthier versions of themselves through practicing the right habits and the ones that we recommend here. And they're always willing to learn, kind of like what you talked about there, DeLauren. Like they're asking us questions, and a big thing that we see in those clients is communication. Like if something's not going well, they're gonna let us know. If something is going well, they let us know their wins. They communicate when like, hey, this was a really hard week. Like I really struggled with this. And then we as coaches, it makes our job a lot easier because we know what the problem is, and then we can give solutions. Then they're able to make faster progress. So the more open and more communication that they have with us, the better results they get, because they're able to tackle whatever problems come up as fast as possible, and then we're able to tackle that together rather than them, like a lot of people I feel want to portray as they're perfect, or like they're doing everything correctly as the client, and then like they don't want to show like the flaws or anything that they're doing wrong, because they maybe feel like we would get we would yell at them or be like, no, don't do that anymore. But that's the biggest part of being that good client, of getting those long-term results, is bringing up the times when it gets hard, the times that you mess up, and then we can kind of tackle this together. And then it kind of goes back to the relationship part of that, of you build a relationship with the client. I think that's some of the best clients I have really good relationships with. We almost become like a therapist, not necessarily, more like they're telling us all about their life and things that are going on, and so they kind of get that out when they come to the gym. And I think that's a big thing of they've really made their lifestyle around the gym, like you said, like treating it like it's an actual appointment, and they're building, like they're making it a non-negotiable of like, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to get my vegetables, and I'm going to have the healthiest option available. And they've developed an identity and a lifestyle around that way of living, and that's how they've been able to have such long-term success.
I want to talk about the injuries thing. I know you wrote it down, but I wanted to touch on that because I think, we all go through injuries. We all go through setbacks, and I think, you can either use it as an excuse to not continue working on yourself and your health and your fitness journey, or you can still kind of work around it. I don't think that, there are certain injuries or illnesses that can completely set you back from being in the gym, and those are a different scenario. But I've had clients who they hurt their knee, and they either just completely fall off the wagon and quit altogether, or they say, hey, I cannot do anything on my knee, but I can do upper body, I can do core, I can do work on maybe they can still get on the bike or the rower if it's gentle on the knee. And I think that just kind of really sets people apart, whether they're going to be successful or not, is how they cope and deal with these injuries. Or if it's a shoulder, sometimes they just, again, fall off the wagon, or they say, oh, well, I can do lower body and core, work my left side of my body or something like that. Bethany had a broken ankle for 6 weeks.
Yep. Yes.
And she was still in here working out her other leg, her upper body, her core, almost every single day. I mean, I've had so many setbacks with pregnancy, but I still am showing up and doing the things that I can do because I know that if I just quit, I'm going to lose all of my results and it's just going to be harder to come back later. So I think that really sets apart a successful client or an unsuccessful client is how they respond and react to any injuries or setbacks that they have.
Yep, I agree. And I think that another thing that sets a successful client or an unsuccessful client would be their planning ahead. Every night, that's why we stress it so much, planning ahead for the next day and doing that every night, whether that's, putting in your calendar when you're going to work out or when you're going to eat your meals or on Sunday, planning ahead and meal prepping all of your lunches for the week. And it's just so much easier to follow when you have it there the next day. It's sitting in front of you. If your meal's right there, ready to go, if your workout's written on your paper and you bring it to the gym, and then it's just right there to follow. So it's so much easier, and it's easier to follow, so yeah. And then another one would be not having the all or nothing attitude. So like if they mess up, have a bad dinner, go out to eat pizza, they don't finish the day bad too. They don't have go out and have ice cream. They turn it around the next day or that night and they still have, or if they forget to work out one day and then they don't just quit working out the rest of the week. They get back on track eventually and stay consistent because like you said, 70 to 80% compliant is the way to go. So, yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's all I have on my list. Do you have anything else?
No, I was just gonna say, I think the two biggest things are consistency and patience. I mean, if you're not showing up consistently and doing your best consistently, again, not all or nothing, but majority of the time, then it's easier to fail or fall off. But if you just stay consistent and stay patient, I think those are the two biggest and hardest things for people to do. So
it sounds very simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. That's the thing, is everything that we always talk about on these trainer talks, everything that we always preach, it's all very simple. It's all things that people generally know, we should probably eat more protein, we should eat more fruits and vegetables, you should be consistent, and you should work out 3 days a week. It's the simple and the boring stuff, but that's what gets you results over the long term. I think that's another thing that, long-term successful clients, they know it's not any one thing that's gonna magically there's no one magic pill for it. They know that it's everything in conjunction. So it's the workouts, it's the nutrition, it's the overall lifestyle habits, it's their stress and how they deal with work stress and different things like that, and their overall environment, work environment, home environment. It all just kind of plays into it. So I think they have a very broad view of everything. I think that's a big thing too of the whole scope. They have a broad view of the whole process. They're not focused in on those 10 pounds they want to lose. They're very broad-minded, have a very open scope about how everything works and how their journey is going to be. Great. Well, that's it for today's trainer talk. If you guys have any other questions, please comment them, shoot us a message. We would love to get ideas for these trainer talks. 101 is a lot of topics to come up with. So if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about or hear more about, we would love to hear your input. But please subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. See ya.